They come back and then they feed the alpha female. If the puppies are grown up, they also feed the puppies with the lungs, the heart, soft meat. And then if the puppies, they keep on begging, what they do, they got the special toys.
Welcome to Tusk Talks. I'm Bea Karanja, and this is Tusk Talks, a podcast exploring the life stories and extraordinary experiences of Africa's most inspirational conservationists. This is episode 1, A Life with Painted Dogs. Today I'm talking to Jealous Mpofu. Jealous is chief tracker at Painted Dog Conservation in Zimbabwe. His passion for painted dogs is truly infectious. You'll hear this throughout the episode. Described by his organization as a homegrown hero, Jealous has dedicated his working life to protecting the dogs in and around Hwange National Park. He monitors 5 packs with a combined territory of more than 3,000 square kilometers. For those of you in the UK, this is roughly the size of Cornwall. Driving out each morning, bright and early, ready to deploy his inherent bush skills and intimate knowledge of the dog's behavior, often staying in the bush until he sees them. I was inspired speaking to Jealous. He's someone who's really found his calling, and his fondness for his dogs, as he calls them, is palpable. I think you're going to love hearing from him. Here we go. So, Jealous, we were talking earlier about me never seeing wild dogs. So could you tell me when you first met your first wild dog or when you came across your first pack?
Okay, myself, I joined the Painted Dog in 1998. And my first dog I saw, it was in May during the denning season. The pack, they named the pack. So the pack was called Ice Spot. The alpha male and crescent pack's name is called Kansinga. It's our name. Kansinga means frying, our local language. And this pack, when I saw them, we saw them just by the den. And the most excited, I would say, because I was given a tea with my boss, Peter and Greg. They give me a big mug of coffee. So I just accepted the coffee and then I drink. And then they said, oh, let's go to the den. We want to see, to monitor the pack and see what's going on that den. So we stayed about 1 hour, 30 minutes. So I was pressed with, I wanted to go to the toilet. And then they said, don't worry, we want to see the dog. They are almost there. Because the signal was ping, 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 very heavily. And then I saw the alpha male, Ice Spot. He was going for the hunt. That was my first time. I was so excited and I was just laughing, because I just stayed right at the edge of the park. I didn't see any wild dog, any painted dog.
Yes.
And I used to see hyenas, lions, leopard, but not wild dog.
Wow. Would you say that was your most memorable, or is there another memorable story about the dogs?
Yeah, this is my memorable one, and as I'm working now, we got another pack. I'm following 5 packs, and then we got another pack we have been following for 3 years now. But they have a lot of challenges in the communal land because they are being pushed by other pigs, so they are going right to the communal land and the farmers as well. So so far we have counted maybe each dog has been snayed 6 to 7 times. So lucky enough, because the pig is collared, so we always monitor them every morning, every afternoon. So if we see we heard the signal is still same place, instead of driving in because the bush is so thick, we end up like walking in. I found the dogs just in a snare, and then we just call maybe the guy who died the dog, come and died the dog, and we release the snare. Or sometimes what we do, we just cover the eyes, the head, and then we remove the snare.
And so how do you track the dogs?
The first thing I can tell you, if I'm driving early in the morning, the most important thing, I put my radio receiver on, and then also when I'm during my driving, I'll be looking on the ground, looking for the spoor. And if I pick up the spoor, I know roughly that the dog, there could be, if there's no signal, which means it's another peg, which means I'll try to drive around the roads, because 90% they use the road. So I drive in the blocks until I find the dogs.
And when you do find them, how does it feel, Jealous?
The first thing, I will be really exciting, but not really smiling a lot. What I do, I first check the numbers of dogs in the pack. And then if I see that every member is okay, then it's where I get more excited.
Excellent. And you track them through the alpha dog who has a collar?
Yeah, it depends. Truly speaking, when you are corralling the dogs, effect like a new pack, the first thing you need to check for the alpha female and the alpha male. Yeah, especially when we are going towards the mating season, because if we would that one of the alpha, if something goes wrong, then we have disturb that pack.
Okay, all right. So tell me something amazing about wild dogs. Tell our listeners something amazing about wild dogs that you wouldn't think that we would know.
The wild dog, they are very different beasts. We cannot compare them with hyenas, lions, but I would tell you that the painted dogs, they look after each other. If one dog is injured, when they're going for hunting, they leave one guy who is looking for the injured dog and cleaning the wound and monitoring the enemies, which is like lions, hyenas, so that if they see the other hyenas, they say, just go in a hidden place. When they come back, they killed something. What they do, they first feed the injured one first.
Wow.
And then they feed also the guy who was monitoring the injured dog.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that is amazing. That is really cool to know. So then, are there any particular packs or dogs that you feel connected to? Like, is Icebolt still around?
Unfortunately, Icebolt is not around because it's a long time now. The lifespan of the dog is 9 years to 11 years old. So Icebolt is gone long back.
Okay.
I got the Mpindo Taylor, the ones what I'm talking about. They were pushed from national parks to the communal land. So they used to take goats from the communal land, and we went to the place, and then the people, they told us that dogs will shoot them, will kill them. Then we said, you guys, listen, these are endangered species. We need to talk about this. Yes. Then because myself, I know the local language a lot, so I talk to them, and then they end up understanding. I'd say to you guys, what you need to do, you need to wait until the denning season comes. Denning, it doesn't den, you let us know. Then we'll monitor the peg, and we know that if the pups are 2 months old, we can capture the adults, and also we'll dig out the puppies. And for sure, those people, because they grew up just near the park, so they listened to us, what you're saying. We managed to capture the alpha male and alpha female, and then with the 7 puppies, they brought them to our rehabilitation center. And we managed to raise the puppies to an age of 6 months. And then what they did, they came all the way to the main offices, and then they took the right road where they came from. It's about maybe 50-something kilometers. 5 days' time, we had some messages that, there are some dogs with puppies here and they are collared.
So they came back home. Essentially, they came back home.
Yes, because it's so safe to the place where they were. And it wasn't easy for them to get some common Daigastinbok and some goats.
Amazing. So very smart animals. Very, very smart animals.
They are.
Yeah. So I look forward to coming to meet the alpha female called Bea.
Yes.
Because I know you're going to name a dog after me. Yeah. So I will come and I will see my wild dog.
Yes, it'll be really brilliant. I'll be looking forward to see you.
Excellent, Jealous, excellent. Yes. So now, Jealous, tell me, I know your son is following in your footsteps. So can you tell us what that means to you and to the family?
I'm very, very, very impressed, to tell you the truth. I'm very impressed about my son. I can remember he was doing his grade primary school just close by our place. When he was going to school, he used to sight the dogs. He first count the dogs and see how many dogs are collared, and then how many puppies, and is there any snared dog? So I'm really happy with him. As far as I see, my son is going to be more advanced than me, because he's got, myself, I didn't finish up my O level. And himself, he did the upper six, Form 6, and now he's doing his for university. And I taught him lots of things, and now he's doing the anti-poaching. Also, he's doing the media. He's going to communicate with the local people. If he's following my footstep, it will be really good, because my intention is to look for the wildlife, nothing else. I don't want any job in the industry or what. But what I want to keep this wildlife going, so that the future children will see the animal, not in the pictures.
Which brings me back to, if we can go back to when you were a child, growing up in the areas that you grew up. Can you tell us, how has it changed over time? Is the environment that you worked in the same environment your son would work in?
Myself, I grew up in the Wangan National Park, and I was staying with my uncle. So anyway, it was very lucky enough for me, because I grew up going in the park looking for the animals, and it was really easy for me to identify the animals in English, local languages, in scientific name, because my uncle used to work in research. And my first job, when I joined the national parks, I used to work with rhinos, black rhinos, to enjoy a lot, because we used to track rhinos. But sometimes I used to have a bit of difficulties. The rhinos and the hippos, they are almost like similar spores. But if you look at properly, the rhinos, they got 3 toes. The hippo got 4 toes. Different as well. The spores of a rhino, the toes are more round. So I was taught by my friends the differences of spores, and I was very eager to learn about all those things.
So has the park changed a lot from when you were a child to where it is today?
Yeah, the park has changed a lot, because when I grew up there, we used to have lots of thick bushes. But now, as you know, maybe you are aware that the numbers of elephants have grown up a lot. So they've destroyed the habitat of the bush. So even the dens of the dogs as well in the park, it's a bit of a challenge, because the dogs, they like to den where it's more thick. So they den in a really big place, in a thick bush where there's no roads. Unless if you drive around, you pick up the spoor and then you see where the spoor coming from when during the denning season, you can just walk and see and find the den.
Could you tell us a little bit more about wild dogs and their personalities and their importance to the landscapes?
They are really good animals. And also, the painted dogs, when they den, the alpha male and the alpha female, they are not the ones who are looking after the puppies. The whole pack, they work as a team. They go and hunt, they come back, and then they feed the alpha female. If the puppies are grown up, they also feed the puppies with the lungs, the heart, soft meat. And then if the puppies, they keep on begging, what they do, they got the special toys, the ears. If they kill the kudu, they bring the ears. They educate the ears to the puppies so that the puppies, they will keep on playing with those ears, and then they get tired.
Amazing. Is it just for the kudus or any other herbivore?
If they kill the steenbok, they bring even the skin, they bring the ears, so they do the same thing. It's sort of like toys.
Wow. I'm still stuck on the communal parenting element of it. That social, very strong community
behavior, yeah.
Community ties, and then
yes,
and that pack will stay like that until it kind of
they'll stay like
disintegrates by nature or by virtue of nature.
No, what happens is that they have puppies, the females and the males. The female, they can stay for 3 years,
yes,
with the pack. And then some females, they decide to leave the pack and look for other males somewhere, because you know that they don't mate with the relatives.
Yes.
So they move somewhere else.
And then that female and that male will start a whole new other pack.
The females, only females, and they join up with maybe three females move from this pack, and then they join up with 4 males. They join up, and then the female, they choose who's the best alpha male.
Wow. So it's proper democracy.
Yes, it is. It is a very, very proper democracy.
I love that. I love that. And then I know struggles between communities and the wild dogs, where the wild dogs are hunting or predating their livestock, so eating their goats or their cows or their domestic livestock. So what are you and your team doing to address the human wild dog conflict in your community?
Oh, what a great question. What we do ourselves, we know that we are working right at the edge of the park, and that's their area as well. What we do, we have some people who are doing we educate people. You need to educate people about wildlife. And then also, when you are working with the animals, you need to share what you get. So what we do ourselves, like the bush camp, they go to the communal land, teach people about wildlife. If you look at an animal, you're not supposed to say it's a meat, but you're supposed to say this is US dollars. So what they do, they go and see what's going on there in the communal land. If there's lots of challenges in Zimbabwe, so you look at if they don't have a borehole, we always help, or we help the school. That's the way how we help. We work with them. So you help each other.
So you're in the schools educating the children about the importance of the wild dogs. You're in the communities talking to the communities about the importance of the wild dogs so that they can see the economic value to their livelihoods rather than just snaring them and eating them for food.
What I know about the painted dogs, they move long distances. One peg can move 750 square kilometers. So people, they'll be targeting Steenbok, common duiker, impala, kudus. So the dogs, they are moving long distances. They end up going to the snare. But when they found that is a dog killed, they just remove their snare and leave the dog without touching it.
Oh wow! So the work, your educational work, is having some impact with people realizing, okay, let's stop snaring these animals.
And also it's very important for them because now people, they were taking painted dogs like they were putting them in a bit category of like hyenas, lions, but the lions, the dogs, they don't do that. Even if they go to the community like now, they don't stay there. If you disturb them, they move away somewhere else.
I didn't know that they cover such big territory. They move fast. They're very fast movers.
They move very fast.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, like they move first light, they can move even 20 to 30 kilometers.
Wow.
In the morning, one morning. Yeah.
So does that mean that their habitats are shrinking then? Because if they have such a big habitat, then, human interference is a common thing around the continent. Are we seeing their spaces dwindling?
Yes. As I said before, that the habitat has been destroyed by elephants. So they used to use their habitat in the park and also less competition. But as far as you know, or you read newspapers, the numbers of lions, they've gone up a lot, and hyenas. So the competition is so heavy in the park. So they end up going to the farms. That's why they get hammered by snares.
And hence the importance of the education, which then can reduce and mitigate that conflict. Because once people know, then they're less likely to put out more snares and things like that.
Yes, they used to do that, but now I think we've been doing the cleaning, building the clinics. We've been doing the gardens for nutrition to get vegetables, onions, tomatoes, and now they put this imported dog species as imported animals, very important animals to us. Because long back they're not even reporting to us, but now even if they see a jackal, they're just like, oh, ring phone, your dogs are here, and then you go there. Then you find that it's a jackal. So which means everybody's very engaged with painted dogs.
Fantastic. That's good to hear, Jealous. So is there any particular dogs or pack that you feel connected to, and what does that bring into your heart, into your soul, when you see those particular dogs?
Got this pack of 5, and it's called Impindo Taylor Pack, and it's got 3 puppies. We started from 3 years ago up to now. We've been following, and we had lots of challenges with the snares. But now, what is amazing about our project, because everybody stand up, and then they said, we want to be volunteers. We got about 200 and something volunteers who are looking for snares right now on the ground.
Brilliant. Well done. Yay.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So, which is a really good thing. Everybody stand up with his food and say, okay, let's look for snares. And the project itself is trying by level best, putting the signpost on the road, putting all the pamphlets everywhere. So everybody began talking dogs. So even people, they see cars passing, oh, we saw your car. What's wrong with your car? It's going where? Is there any problem with the dogs? So everybody is focusing on dogs.
That is so good to hear, Jealous. That is really encouraging and inspiring to hear.
Yes.
What advice would you give to young rangers or young people around the continent in terms of the work that you do, and what can the young Africans do to preserve, conserve, and protect their natural and national heritage?
Right. The first thing I can tell everybody is about being patient at work. Don't, if you are working, don't think about salaries, pay rise. You need to be focusing on what we are doing. You know, I can say I'm not a church goer, but God, it gives the opportunity in last minutes. It's like me. No one knew. Even myself, I didn't even know that I would be talking to you.
And here we
I
are.
was nothing. Yes, and but my patient has paid a lot to me because all my life has changed. I didn't have any relative went to America, Australia, what. But my patient pays back. I still remember my boss. When I joined my job in 1998, he said, "My friend, if you keep your work, one day I'll take you to England." Then I just like, oh my God, this guy is trying to, to keep me at work. But I talked to my wife. My wife said, no, you never know what to get in future. And then I was so patient enough. I worked for 10 years. And then my boss said, oh, do you have a passport? I said, no. Then he said, oh, can you go and take the passport? And then I got the passport. 2008, I went to Europe.
See, there you go. Patience.
Yes, patience pays.
Yes, definitely jealous.
Yes.
You really are a testament to that resilience and to the patience and fortitude of impact, because I think that's the most thing. We forget our legacy in impact, and yet that should really be the only thing that we think about is what legacy do we leave behind in the impact that we've created for our beautiful continent and for our brothers and sisters around the continent and around the world. So I think we can take a lot of learning lessons from you, Jealous, in patience and resilience. And as I said, we are here today because of that patience and that resilience. So congratulations again to you. With that, I would like you to leave our listeners with something inspirational, something that they can do to help you do your work better, or to just make sure that the dogs are surviving and growing and doing what they need to do. So what words of inspiration would you like to leave us with?
Okay, myself, I'm so good on groundwork, but on computer, I'm not so good. In fact, technology, new technology. I'm a bushman. I need people who are educated, and I want them to work with me, also to share the knowledge, so that in future we need to help this endangered species, painted dog. Instead of 200 dogs in the Wange National Park, we want more than that. And I know the world is about 6,000 something. We need to have more than that. So please, let's stand up and do our job and help the poor guy like me. I want everybody to stand up. In Europe, people in Europe, they can help by donating some money to the project so that we can extend our researchers. People who can educate people in the communal land. We can also bring the kids to the people. The kids are right at the edge of the park. They should have to learn about animals a lot, because if you don't educate people, the people, they won't understand why are we keeping this.
Indeed, and we need to drive towards getting the alpha male Beatrice, so that I can come and see my namesake.
Yes, exactly.
And if you find another alpha male, my husband is called Mohammed. So
Okay.
we can have the Beatrice Mohammed pack.
Yes, it will be brilliant. You were supposed to tell me yes, because I found a new peg. So I was going to name the peg after you.
We can call the pack Tusk, the Tusk pack.
Yes, no problem.
Yes,
I'll make my time to look for the peg. Then I'll let you know.
Excellent,
yes.
excellent. Then we'll all have to come down and see our pack.
Exactly. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Jealous, it was absolutely a joy and a treat speaking to you. And when I get to speak to the winners, it makes me realize not only how important our job is as judges, but it also inspires me to find more Jealouses year after year after year, and to show young people, young conservationists across the continent, that we can do it. We are able, we are capable, and with the support of partners like Tusk, we can go so far.
Yes,
we can go really far.
No,
and you are a perfect testament to that, Jealous. Perfect testament to that.
Okay, we are really happy about that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Tusk Talks, stories from Africa's conservation voices. You can find out more about Tusk's work, as well as the transcripts and summaries of all podcast episodes at tusk.org. And you can subscribe to Tusk Talks wherever you get your podcasts. Please share it with friends and leave a review. That's the best way to ensure the podcast reaches as many people as possible. Please let us know your thoughts, feedbacks and questions by joining in the conversation on social media with the hashtag Tusk Talks Podcast. Asante sana. Thanks again for listening. Stay tuned for a trailer of episode 2 of Tusk Talks.
So my colleague was bitten yesterday by a snake, and unfortunately, where he was bitten in the forest, to bring him out to the neighboring village and then to the city took us more than 12 hours to get him, assistance. But one thing that comforted me was that he was brought into a village that still lives close to nature. And I knew the local people who have something for this situation.